Would you lie with me and just forget the
Words.
world?
Stay with me. Got that? Stay with me.
Grey's Anatomy is gearing up for its highly anticipated 22nd season. The new season will pick up immediately after the explosive season 21 finale, which left Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital in chaos and several characters' fates uncertain. Showrunner Meg Marinis has hinted at intense storylines and character arcs, with a central focus on the aftermath of the explosion. Fans are particularly concerned for Dr. Atticus Lincoln, who was on the floor when the blast occurred, especially after he just married Dr. Jo Wilson, who is expecting twins. While Jo and her pregnancy are confirmed safe, Link's survival remains a cliffhanger. New promotional photos offer some clues but largely keep viewers guessing. In related news, the Grey's Anatomy spin-off Station 19 is now available for free streaming on ITVX, with its complete 7 seasons also on Disney+. Meanwhile, 911 Nashville, another Ryan Murphy-produced first responder drama starring Grey's Anatomy alum Jessica Capshaw, is set for a big premiere on ABC. Season 22 is also expected to address the ongoing storyline of Meredith Grey and Nick Marsh, with many fans hoping their relationship will conclude. The new season promises to be a dramatic return, with Camilla Luddington, Jo Wilson, teasing an even crazier premiere than the finale. Hey lovely viewers, welcome to our channel Grey's Anatomy Official. Grey's Anatomy fans rejoice as 5-star spin-off series lands on free streaming service. Grey's Anatomy fans have reason to celebrate after the much-loved spin-off series Station 19 was added to ITVX for free. The drama, which ran from 2018 to 2024, follows the lives of a group of brave firefighters working out of Station 19 in Seattle, Washington, the same city in which Grey's Anatomy is set. Starring the likes of Jaina Lee Ortiz, Jason George, Grey Damon, and Barrett Doss, Station 19 ran for 7 seasons before it was cancelled last year after 105 episodes. The complete first season was added to ITVX earlier this week as part of the service's Taste of Disney Plus initiative. Alternatively, if you've already plowed through all 10 episodes of the first season, the entirety of the show's 7 seasons are available on subscription streaming service Disney Plus. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 features cast updates and ongoing storylines as Grey's Anatomy prepares for its 22nd season. Fans are eagerly anticipating which characters will return to Grey Sloan Memorial. Only 2 actors have officially confirmed their return so far, though several others have deals in place to reprise their roles. Showrunner Meg Marinis has hinted that the new season will bring intense storylines, emotional twists, and dramatic character arcs. A central focus of Season 22 will be the aftermath of the explosive Season 21 finale, which left the hospital and its staff reeling. The explosion caused significant damage to Grey Sloan Memorial and put multiple lives at risk. The new season is expected to explore the long-term consequences of that event, both professionally and personally, for the doctors and staff. Fans can anticipate storylines involving recovery, tension among colleagues, and the challenges of navigating a hospital in crisis. While details remain closely guarded, viewers can expect high-stakes drama, unexpected character returns, and shocking twists that will continue to define the legacy of this long-running medical drama. Season 22 promises to push boundaries and keep audiences on the edge of their seats. Jo and Link fans get hopeful update heading into Grey's Anatomy Season 22. One of the best couples on Grey's Anatomy is hands down Jo and Link, Camilla Luddington and Chris Carmack. Following the shocking Season 21 finale, fans have been left worried about what might happen to Link after the blast at Grey Sloan Memorial. He, along with several other doctors, was on the floor where the explosion erupted. As expected, the show's creative team has been keeping hush-hush on who exactly will survive the aftermath of the explosion. However, we've started to discover who might be safe based on interviews and production stills for the new season. Initially, the only 2 confirmed characters to be okay for Grey's Anatomy Season 22 were Meredith and Warren. Series showrunner Meg Marinis shared these juicy deets in a previous interview. Honestly, no one should really be surprised that they're safe, given that they were outside the hospital when everything happened. Link, on the other hand, was in the middle of surgery when the explosion took place. He, Monica, Miranda, and Jules are the characters most in jeopardy. However, Marinus has also mentioned in a recent interview with TV Line that any character who was in the hospital at the time of the blast could be in danger because of its devastating impact. That puts a bunch of other characters at risk as well. However, Amelia, Simone, and Winston should be okay since they were all featured in the new Grey's Anatomy Season 22 photos. Jo is another character who is safe, which shouldn't be surprising since she was outside the hospital when the blast occurred. Right before the explosion happened, Jo had revealed to Link that they were having twins. That's why finding out Link was on the floor when everything happened is so sad. While we don't know what will happen to Link going into Grey's Anatomy Season 22, there is some good news for him and Jo's babies. According to Marinus in her interview with TV Line, fans don't need to worry about Jo's pregnancy. She will carry their twins safely to term. In other words, whether Link lives or not, their twins are safe. This might not be the best news, but it's something. Sidestepping the question of whether Amelia and Monica will ever go there, the boss notes that the neuro superstar will have a strong reaction to Link's brush with death. Jo will too, but at least we can rest assured that her pregnancy will come to fruition, reinforcing what Marinus says is the season's overarching theme, hope. That would just be devastating if Jo were to lose Link and their babies. Obviously, we're hoping Link survives the explosion and makes it through this harrowing ordeal so that the couple can face the future together as a family. But you just never know with Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy Season 22. Major cast shakeups ahead. Grey's Anatomy returns for its 22nd season on October 9, 2025. Only 2 characters are officially confirmed to return after the Season 21 finale explosion. Several actors have deals in place, but their roles remain unconfirmed. The showrunner promises leaner storytelling and deeper character exploration. Fans are divided over the significant cast shakeup. The long-running medical drama Grey's Anatomy is poised to return for its 22nd season on October 9, 2025, bringing with it a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. Known for its ability to reinvent itself season after season, the show is entering uncharted territory with significant cast changes that have fans both intrigued and apprehensive. 2 confirmed returns amid uncertainty. The explosive Season 21 finale left fans on the edge of their seats, quite literally, as an actual explosion rocked Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital in the final moments. As the dust settles, only 2 characters are officially confirmed to return for the upcoming season. This revelation comes directly from showrunner Meg Marinus, who has been tight-lipped about the details but shared that a few other actors have deals in place for potential appearances. While the identities of the confirmed returning characters have not been explicitly revealed in public statements, speculation runs rampant. Could it be long-standing favorites like Chandra Wilson's Miranda Bailey or James Pickens Jr.'s Richard Webber? Or will the focus shift to newer faces in the cast, as the series continues its tradition of blending legacy characters with fresh talent? Marinus emphasized in a post-finale interview that the reduced cast provides an opportunity for leaner storytelling and deeper exploration of the characters who do return. Whether this approach will resonate with fans remains to be seen, but it undeniably marks a shift for a show that has often been celebrated and occasionally critiqued for its ensemble-heavy storytelling. A legacy of change and reinvention. Change is nothing new for Grey's Anatomy. Over its 2-decade run, the series has seen the departure of many beloved characters, from Sandra Oh's Christina Young to Patrick Dempsey's Derek Shepherd. Yet, each departure has paved the way for new storylines and fresh dynamics. The upcoming season appears to be doubling down on this ethos, embracing uncertainty as a narrative device. One of the show's enduring strengths has been its ability to mirror real-world challenges while weaving them into the personal and professional lives of its characters. The Season 21 finale, with its catastrophic explosion, seems to be setting the stage for a season that explores themes of recovery, resilience, and reinvention, not just for the hospital, but for the show itself. ABC's decision to move up the premiere date for Season 22 further underscores the network's confidence in the show's ability to captivate audiences. Originally slated for a later release, the new October 9th premiere date positions the series as a key player in the fall TV lineup, despite the competitive landscape. Fan reactions, anticipation, and anxiety. The fanbase for Grey's Anatomy is nothing if not passionate, and the news of the cast shakeup has elicited a wide range of reactions. On social media, Some viewers have expressed excitement about the prospect of a streamlined cast and tighter storylines, while others lament the potential loss of their favorite characters. "This show has been my comfort watch for years," one fan tweeted. "I don't know if I'm ready for such big changes, but I'll give it a chance." Another fan commented, "Grey's is at its best when it takes risks. Season 22 could be a game-changer." Critics have also weighed in, with some praising the decision to pare down the cast as a bold move that could reinvigorate the series. Others, however, caution that the show's longevity might work against it, as audiences grow increasingly fragmented in the era of streaming and on-demand content. What lies ahead? As Grey's Anatomy prepares to enter its 22nd season, the stakes have never been higher. The series is not just a TV show, it's a cultural phenomenon that has shaped the landscape of modern television. Its ability to evolve while staying true to its core, heartfelt storytelling set against the backdrop of a bustling hospital, will be put to the test once again. For now, all eyes are on October 9th. Will the new season deliver the emotional depth and dramatic twists that have defined the series? Or will the absence of familiar faces prove too much for longtime fans to bear? One thing is certain, Grey's Anatomy remains a show that knows how to keep people talking. After 21 seasons, Grey's Anatomy proves that change is the only constant. With a reduced cast and a bold narrative direction, the show is betting on reinvention to sustain its legacy. Whether it succeeds will depend on how well it balances nostalgia with innovation. 911 Nashville Boss says ABC spinoff goes big for premiere episodes. Country music, honky tonks, and tornadoes. 911 Nashville is planning something big for its first episodes on ABC, as it crafts its own lane in the beloved TV franchise from Ryan Murphy, Tim Minear, and Rashad Raisani. NCIS Los Angeles star Chris O'Donnell and Grey's Anatomy alum Jessica Capshaw lead the ensemble cast of the new spin-off series set in the Tennessee Capitol, which will once again center on the lives and work of a team of first responders. Raisani, who serves as showrunner, told The Wrap to expect all the elements that make the city stand out to be present, both the fun ones and the catastrophic. Grey's Anatomy's worst couple must break up in season 22. Ever since Drive, Derek Shepherd, the love of Dr. Meredith Grey's life, was killed off of Grey's Anatomy in season 11 in 2015, the medical drama has been searching for her next great love interest, and because she and Dr. Nick Marsh are the show's worst couple, they must break up in season 22. Fans across the internet have taken to social media to express their distaste for the pairing, so their relationship should end. Meredith, Ellen Pompeo, and Nick Scott Speedman first met during season 14 when he was a patient at Grey Sloan Hospital. He returned in season 18, and he and Meredith eventually began dating and later became a couple. After Derek's death, Meredith has been involved with several men, including William Thorpe, Scott Elrod, Nathan Riggs, Martin Henderson, Andrew DeLuca, Giacomo Gianniotti, and Cormac Hayes, Richard Flood, and those relationships didn't work out, but Nick has been her worst pairing by far. Meredith takes Nick for granted throughout their relationship. Meredith has repeatedly taken Nick for granted. When she decided to move to Boston, she didn't discuss it with him at all, which made him feel as though he wasn't really a part of her life. Later, when Meredith's son, Bailey, suffered from early appendicitis while she was away, Nick rushed him to the hospital. Instead of thanking him for caring for her son, Meredith was livid with Nick for making a medical decision regarding him without her consent. She told him that she was all her children had, but Nick pointed out to her that she actually had a village, including him. Meredith explained that she'd been doing things on her own for a long time, and it might take her a minute to adjust. Nick responded that he had a minute. Even though Nick gives his all to their relationship, Meredith has consistently proven that she doesn't appreciate him. She even once pretended not to hear him during a phone call when he told her that he loved her. Nick always forgives her and takes her back, but this is an unhealthy pattern. Nick deserves better, which is why he should move on from Meredith. Meredith believes she's the son during Grey's Anatomy season 10, before Meredith's best friend, Dr. Christina Young, Sandra Oh, left the hospital. She gave her some advice about Derek. She told her, "You are a gifted surgeon with an extraordinary mind. Don't let what he wants eclipse what you need. He's very dreamy, but he is not the son. You are." While this quote was very powerful at the time because of the dynamics of Meredith and Derek's relationship, It has since made Meredith believe that she's the center of the universe, and everyone else revolves around her. Meredith had previously pleaded with Derek to pick me, choose me, love me. But, in a stunning reversal, she told Nick that she wouldn't beg him to love her. While it's been wonderful to see Meredith grow over the years, she needs to find a balance between being a strong, independent woman and a considerate partner. She and Nick should be equals in their relationship, but instead she acts like she's doing him a favor by being with him, and it's hard to watch. Meredith has to stop applying Christina's advice to her relationship with Nick, even if it's subconscious, because he's not Derek. Meredith and Nick's relationship has run its course, and she doesn't prioritize it in any way. Her children and her career will always come first, especially her Alzheimer's research. The internet is right. Meredith and Nick are Grey's Anatomy's worst couple, and they should break up in season 22. Grey's Anatomy's cast changes for season 22. Just 2 actors confirmed for returns, though others have deals in place. When Grey's Anatomy returns for season 22 on October 9th, you can expect some changes to the cast. There was an explosion at the end of the season 21 finale, and only 2 characters are confirmed to return in the upcoming season, but we recently learned that several stars already have deals in place for the next season. Showrunner Meg Marinas revealed in a post-finale interview that she can only confirm 2 characters will be back, but we did get some additional insight from the interview. ABC recently changed the premiere date for Grey's season 22, and it's coming sooner than previously expected. Heads up, new photos from Grey's Anatomy's season 22 tease almost here, people. Grey's Anatomy season 22 premieres on ABC on October 9th, 2025, and we're still reeling from last season's explosive finale. Literally. Some of our favorite doctors are in mortal danger after the hospital explodes, leaving Link and who knows who else possibly injured or worse. Ben Warren, the part superhero, part firefighter that he is, charged into the burning building while Meredith watched in shock. And as we all know, the writers of Grey's never shy away from breaking our hearts, so brace yourselves for some emotional fallout. Luckily, the Grey's Anatomy gods have given us something to hold us over, brand new, exclusive photos. Amelia looks distraught. If Link's gone, we riot. Simone has an awkward elevator run-in with her one-night stand. Meredith is seen working with a patient, and Teddy and Owen appear locked in a very tense moment. It looks like season 22 promises new beginnings, devastating twists, and the kind of drama only Grey Sloane can deliver. Check out the photos, and start your countdown to October 9th. Unexpected insights from Grey's Anatomy, even fans missed. Grey's Anatomy has been a television staple for years now, enthralling audiences with its gripping storylines and complex characters. While most fans know the main plot points of the show, there are some amazing, unexpected insights that even the most dedicated viewers may have missed. They give you a deeper understanding of the series and its characters, revealing the layers behind its timelessness. The significance of scrub colors. In Grey's Anatomy, scrub colors are more than just a uniform choice. They are a symbol of different roles in the hospital. Blue scrubs usually denote surgical staff, while green is usually worn by emergency room personnel. This subtle detail helps the viewers quickly recognize character roles and understand their responsibilities in scenes. It also mirrors real-life hospital practices where color-coded uniforms help keep order and efficiency. Real medical cases influence storylines. Many of the medical cases featured in Grey's Anatomy are inspired by real-life events or medical journals. The writers work with medical professionals to ensure that they are accurate and authentic when they portray these cases on screen. This not only adds to the show's realism, but also educates viewers about various medical conditions and procedures. It makes them more invested in each episode. Character development through music choices. Music is an integral part of Grey's Anatomy. It is often used to underscore emotional moments or highlight character development. Each song is carefully picked to reflect the mood of a scene or give a glimpse into a character's inner thoughts. This thoughtful integration of music makes storytelling richer by making it more emotional and leaving an impact on audiences long after an episode ends. Easter eggs connect past and present episodes. Over the years, Grey's Anatomy has featured a plethora of Easter eggs linking old episodes to the current narrative. These hidden gems reward longtime fans with an eagle eye for details, adding a sense of continuity to seasons. Be it the same props or a quiet nod to old plot lines, these Easter eggs make viewing experiences richer by tying different facets of the show's history together. Grey's Anatomy fans rejoice as five-star spin-off series lands on free streaming service. Grey's Anatomy fans have reason to celebrate after the much-loved spin-off series Station 19 was added to ITVX for free. The drama, which ran from 2018 to 2024, follows the lives of a group of brave firefighters working out of Station 19 in Seattle, Washington, the same city in which Grey's Anatomy is set. Starring the likes of Jaina Lee Ortiz, Jason George, Grey Damon, and Barrett Doss, Station 19 ran for 7 seasons before it was cancelled last year after 105 episodes. Fans have heaped praise on the show, with one viewer writing on Google, "Station 19 is nothing short of a blazing masterpiece that keeps the flames of excitement burning from the very first episode to the last." This series deserves every bit of its 5-star rating for numerous compelling reasons. A second person raved, "Station 19 is so much more than just a Grey's Anatomy spin-off. This show has taken a complete life of its own with compelling storylines, fascinating characters and character dynamic, amazing representation for BIPOC, LGBT+, and much more." A third added, "I absolutely love this show. The writers tackle social justice issues that no other series on TV will touch, and the representation Station 19 provides to so many underrepresented groups is invaluable." The previous season concluded with an explosion at the hospital, leaving the fate of Dr. Atticus Link Lincoln, Chris Carmack, uncertain. Link's life is in jeopardy just hours after marrying Dr. Joe Wilson, Camilla Luddington, who is expecting his twins. Blue made a point not to be open about his feelings, as doing so often backfired. However, his friendship with Simone made him more receptive, making a potential romance in Grey's Anatomy Season 22 less of a prospective debacle. Their connection was quickly forgotten due to Jules and Mika's romance showing much promise for Grey's Anatomy Season 21, and Season 20's finale simultaneously introduced another key storyline for Blue in the form of his ex-fiancée Molly. Rekindling their romance in Season 21 didn't go much better, as Molly was with Blue in the hope of getting her memories back. Grey's Anatomy Season 21 saw Blue unmistakably improve professionally, but what was new in his personal life was only his close friendship with Simone and reaching a point where he and Lucas tolerated one another. This, coupled with his backstory and his tragic love stories, makes it imperative that Blue finally starts a happy romance in Grey's Anatomy Season 22. How focusing on Quan's personal life can help his development after Season 21, the focus on Lucas's ADHD diagnosis, Jules's problems with her family, and Simone's terrible history at her previous residency program all enrich their storylines. This was also true for Mika before she exited Grey's Anatomy in Season 21. However, the same cannot be said for Blue, despite his past barging into his present through Molly, with the Molly storyline only being introduced to create more heartbreak, as she was never really interested in him. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 should focus more on developing new storylines for Blue. His reaction to going to watch a basketball match with Ndugu showed how much Blue needs a life outside Grey Sloan Memorial's walls. This can take the form of a drama-free romance with someone new. After all, Season 21's ending showed the arrival of a new class of interns. While one of them will inevitably spell drama for Lucas and Simone, others could mean lighthearted fun for Blue at last in Grey's Anatomy Season 22. Enjoy Screen Rant's primetime coverage? Click below to sign up for our weekly Network TV newsletter. Make sure to check Network TV in your preferences and get the inside scoop from actors and showrunners on your favorite series. Grey's Anatomy showrunner warns, anyone in the hospital is at risk. One of the best medical drama shows ever is slated to return with its 22nd season on ABC this October. Of course, we're talking about Shonda Rhimes' Grey's Anatomy. This show has kept fans hooked and on the edge of their seats for over 2 decades, and this upcoming season promises to be no different. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 picks up immediately after the explosive Season 21 finale. After Meredith steps in and helps stop a hostage situation at Grey Sloan Memorial, the hospital is left reeling from the aftermath. Things then take a turn for the worse when a highly flammable acetylene tank topples over in an operating room, causing the entire floor to go up in flames. That's how the Season 21 finale wraps up. Viewers are left wondering who survived the devastating explosion and who might have been seriously injured or worse. There are several characters who are last seen on the floor when the fire breaks out. They are Miranda, Monica, Jules, and Link. All four of these characters are the most at risk of not making it out alive. Monica, Miranda, and Jules were shown talking while Link was in the middle of surgery. Another character whose fate remains uncertain for the next season is Lucas. He was on his way to the floor to alert everyone about the tank, but the season 21 finale never shows him actually arriving. However, there's a possibility that he made it there right when the fire erupted, putting him in immediate danger alongside the others. And now we've just learned that it's not just these characters who might be in peril. In a new interview with TV Line, Grey's Anatomy showrunner Meg Marinis teased that anyone who was in Grey Sloan at the time of the explosion is at risk due to the sheer magnitude of the blast. So it's not just those who were on the floor. New season 22 photos show Amelia, Simone, and Winston alive and well, so we know they're okay. However, Richard, Catherine, Teddy, Owen, and Benson were also in the hospital at the time of the explosion. We haven't seen any Grey's Anatomy season 22 photos featuring them, which leaves their fates uncertain. Jo was outside the hospital when the fire broke out, so she should be okay. Meredith and Warren were also outside of the hospital, and Marinis has already confirmed that they're safe. But we doubt everyone is going to get off unscathed. Maybe there won't be any characters who die, but somebody is bound to be injured, possibly even critically. We'll just have to wait until the Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiere on October 9th to know for sure. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 release date. When the beloved medical drama returns to ABC, get ready for more medical drama and more regular drama, because Grey's Anatomy returns to ABC this fall. In Season 22 of the show, Meredith Grey, executive producer Ellen Pompeo, will return for another season that is sure to keep you reaching for the tissues. But when exactly can you plan for the release date of Grey's Anatomy Season 22? The Grey's Anatomy Season 22 release date is Thursday, October 9th at 10 o'clock Eastern/Pacific on ABC. New episodes of the 18-episode season will continue to air in that time slot on a weekly basis. After the episodes have aired on ABC, they will be available for streaming the next day on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. It hasn't been too long since the previous season of Grey's Anatomy concluded in May 2025, and given the number of exciting TV release dates this fall, you'll want to carefully plan your viewing schedule. Currently, there is not a trailer available for Grey's Anatomy Season 22. Grey's Anatomy Season 21 concluded with an explosive cliffhanger. A bomb exploded inside Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital. While we know Meredith, Ben Warren, Jason George, and Jo Wilson, Camilla Luddington, probably weren't in the building, it's possible that some of the other characters might have been caught in the blast. The show also stars Alexis Floyd as Simone Griffith, Anthony Hill as Winston Degu, Adelaide Kane as Jules Millen, Kevin McKidd as Owen Hunt, James Pickens Jr. as Richard Webber, Kim Raver as Teddy Altman, Katarina Scorsone as Amelia Shepard, and Chunder Wilson as Miranda Bailey. Plus, Patrick Dempsey is meant to return as Derek Shepard for at least 7 episodes of Grey's Anatomy Season 22. Why Grey's Anatomy's Camilla Luddington says season premiere is even crazier than finale. Camilla Luddington is teasing a heart-pounding return for Grey's Anatomy this fall. The Shonda Rhimes series ended season 21 with a quite literally explosive finale, and the actress, who has played Dr. Jo Wilson on the show for nearly 14 years, shared that returning for the upcoming season 22 premiere has been difficult. There are some premieres that I'm excited to come back and film, Camilla told E! News in an exclusive interview. We've had some really funny openers in this one. I think I can say this, I was really dreading. As she put it, the finale was crazy. Our premiere is even crazier. There is so much going on. Considering the last episode ended on a cliffhanger, leaving the fate of Jo's new husband, Dr. Atticus Lincoln, Chris Carmack, up in the air, Camilla was anxious for what was to come, adding, "I had to take a deep breath going back. It's been a lot." Since returning to work on Grey's in July, the 41-year-old admitted the premiere, which will air on ABC October 9th, has been hanging over her head. "I don't even know how they're going to film it in regular filming days, like this should be a 3-week movie," she added. "It's wild. There's so much going on. There's so much action nonstop. I think viewers are going to be really excited to watch, but also there's some hard moments. It'll be understandably hard for Jo. It's a rough episode for her, Camilla noted. It's really rough. Given the emotional exhaustion Camilla has faced with her latest Grey storyline, she has been utilizing every mom hack in the book for her and husband Matthew Allen's kids Hayden, 7, and Lucas, 5. Indeed, the couple are currently juggling work and childcare on their own, and Camilla has made packing school lunches one less thing to worry about through her partnership with Gedimus. From Gerber. One of the most frustrating things as a mom is that your kid comes home, you open the backpack up, you open the food up, and they're like, everything's still there, and they're like, I'm hungry, she explained. You're like, you didn't eat your lunch. What I love about this snack is that it gets in their lunchbox. At least I know that section is going to be eaten. Camilla admits she also keeps a stash in her car, which makes the drive home from work and school much easier. My kids are so hangry when they get home from school, she detailed. That car ride is one of my least favorite car rides in the world. But when she has Gedimus on hand, Camilla added, I'll have a peaceful car ride. The upcoming Grey's Anatomy episode may be one of the most shocking yet, but keep reading for a look back on some of the show's most memorable moments. From booty call to boss. Incoming surgical intern Meredith Grey Ellen Pompeo was thrown for quite a loop in Grey's Anatomy's series premiere when she learned that the hunky one-night stand she picked up at the bar played by Patrick Dempsey was actually her new boss, renowned surgeon Dr. Derek Shepherd. Oops. Addison's arrival. Fans were just as stunned as poor Meredith in the Season 1 finale when Addison Montgomery, Kate Walsh, waltzed into Seattle Grace and right up to Maren Derek, introducing herself with the now iconic, "You must be the woman who's been screwing my husband." Bombs away. When Grey's Anatomy was given the plum post-Super Bowl slot in its second season, fans watched tensely as Meredith decided to shove her hand into a body cavity containing a live explosive to keep it from detonating. And just as we began to breathe a sigh of relief when Bomb Squad Chief Dylan, guest star Kyle Chandler, began to walk away with the removed explosive, it blew, taking the poor guy out in the process. Denny's demise. Fans watched as Izzy, Katherine Heigl, fell in love with the effortlessly charming Denny Duquette, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, as he awaited a much-needed heart transplant throughout the second half of Season 2, falling for him right along with her. And when her wild plan to cut his LVAD wire to move him up the transplant list failed spectacularly, resulting in his death in the season finale, it was confirmed that Grey's Anatomy was not here to give us the happy endings we wanted. Meredith's near-death experience. What was more surprising during Season 3's Big Ferry accident? Meredith nearly drowning after being knocked into freezing cold waters at the accident site, or her later admission that she'd given up trying to survive. Lexi's arrival. At the end of Season 3, a surgical intern named Lexi Kyler Lee arrived at Seattle Grace, first meeting Derek the night prior to starting at the hospital in a moment that mirrored his first interaction with Mare 2 seasons prior, but thankfully did not end with them sleeping together, and then introducing herself to George O'Malley T.R. Knight in the intern locker room. Oh, and her last name? Why, Grey, of course. And just like that, Meredith's younger half-sister, one of two daughters raised by her father Thatcher and his second wife Susan, was added to the mix. Ghost Denny. 2.5 seasons after he'd perished, Denny was back and his ghost was having sex with Izzy. In one of the most ludicrous moments in the show's history, Ghost Denny was used to signal to viewers and to Izzy herself that something was wrong. That something was ultimately proven to be stage 4 metastatic melanoma, which had spread to, among other places, her brain. It's George. While fans were expecting Izzy to bite the bullet in the Season 5 finale, the fact that no one could find George should have clued us into the fact that something was up with poor O'Malley. When Meredith finally realized what the John Doe who'd been hit by a bus while trying to save a woman on the street was writing in her hand, 007, his cruel nickname in earlier seasons, she tried to alert the surgeons working on him. But it was too late. He flatlined and died. The shooting. File this one under the most disturbing episode in Grey's history. In the Season 6 finale, the grieving husband of a deceased patient arrived at the hospital, fresh off its merger with neighboring Mercy West, with a loaded gun and nothing left to live for. A few doctors were murdered, several more injured, and the image of Bailey Chunder Wilson being dragged by her feet out from under a patient's bed will forever haunt us. Thankfully, she survived. Maren Derek's baby wasn't so lucky. After he was shot, she believed he'd died and had a traumatic miscarriage. The plane crash. 2 seasons after the horrific hospital shooting, Shonda Rhimes decided it was time to torture a handful of docs yet again. In the 8th season finale, a plane carrying Meredith, Derek, Christina Young, Sandra Oh, Lexi, Mark Sloan, Eric Dane, and Arizona Robbins, Jessica Capshaw, traveling to Boise, Idaho to perform surgery on conjoined twins, crashed in the wilderness, leaving them stranded and wounded, with no one at home even knowing they'd gone down. The accident claimed Mark and Lexi's lives and Arizona's leg, while nearly leaving Derek's hand permanently injured. Burke's return. How would Grey's send off Mare's person Christina at the end of Season 10 after Sandra Oh decided to move on? Why, by having ex-Preston Burke, Isaiah Washington, pop back up after leaving her at the altar in Season 3 to offer her his hospital in Switzerland. That the show brought Washington back after his highly contentious exit, which involved him referring to co-star TR Knight by a heinous gay slur, was truly surprising. Maggie's arrival. As the show said goodbye to Christina in the Season 10 finale, it welcomed her replacement as the head of cardiothoracic surgery, Dr. Maggie Pierce. And when the character, played by Kelly McCreary, revealed to Richard James Pickens Jr. in the episode's final moments that she was Dr. Ellis Grey's daughter, asking if he knew the legendary doctor, he wasn't the only one stunned to learn that he had a daughter and that Mare had another sister. Derek's departure. Literally no one saw it coming when, with a handful of episodes left to air in Season 11, Derek was killed off, the victim of a head-on collision just after rescuing a family on the side of the road involved in a car crash of their own. Patrick Dempsey had just recently extended his contract on the show, making his departure truly unexpected. Killing off Mare's husband may have been Shonda Rhimes' only feasible option to get rid of the character in a way that didn't render an 11-year love story completely worthless, but that didn't mean it hurt any less. Meredith's attack. As if Mare hadn't been through enough up to this point, in the 9th episode of Season 12, she was violently attacked by a patient in a brutal episode that saw her jaw broken and then wired shut in order to restore her hearing. Her panic attack when her kids won't see her during her recovery was a stunning moment of acting from Ellen Pompeo. Alex's departure. How would the show explain Alex Karev's sudden absence after original star Justin Chambers walked away from his role midway through Season 16? By having him write letters to wife Jo, Camilla Luddington, Mare and Bailey explaining that he'd gotten in contact with Izzy years after she ghosted and sent him divorce papers, only to learn that she'd been raising their twins all these years on a farm somewhere, and he'd chosen his newfound family over his life in Seattle. If anyone tells you they saw that coming, we'll show you a liar. The death of Dr. DeLuca. In Season 17, fans watched as Dr. Andrew DeLuca, Giacomo Gianniotti, met his untimely end. After overcoming his mental health struggles, DeLuca found himself as an attending at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital. Yet, in typical Grey's fashion, Dr. DeLuca's back-on-track life was cut tragically short when he was stabbed by a human trafficker's accomplice. After rewatching Grey's Anatomy a few times, I'm convinced the show should have ended after Season 14, and I can easily prove it. Grey's Anatomy has been a TV powerhouse since it debuted in 2005, and even after all this time, fans are still obsessed. Although the show started out as an accurate and hard-hitting medical drama, it has since transformed into an addictive soap opera. Thus, even when audiences think that Meredith and her peers can't overcome any more catastrophes, the show shocks them by providing the team with another curveball. Despite still having a massive fan base, audiences still believe that it's time for Grey Sloan to close its doors. The show has changed massively over the past few years, and many argue that it's drifting away from its original principles. However, some fans argue that Grey's Anatomy's best ending premiered in 2018 with Jo and Alex's wedding. All of Me gave everyone a decent conclusion for a while now. Audiences have been debating the best conclusion for Grey's Anatomy. Since the show is now approaching its 22nd season, some fans argue that the long-running medical drama should end on a high note rather than continuously churning out the same plots until it's unfairly canceled on a cliffhanger. However, a lot of audiences want different things when it comes to a finale. As expected, some viewers would love to see the return of Derek Shepherd, allowing Meredith to finally experience her fairy tale ending after years of trauma and grief. Others would like the final episode to be some sort of reunion, welcoming back some familiar faces like Christina Young and Addison Montgomery for one last hurrah. While all of these ideas are valid, It seems that Grey's Anatomy produced its perfect farewell at the end of season 14 with All of Me. This season finale focuses on Alex Karev and Joe Wilson's wedding, but like everything in Grey's Anatomy, nothing goes to plan. Not only do half of the guests attend the wrong wedding, but the bride and groom end up getting stuck in the barn while having sex. To make matters worse, the wedding planner, Kristen, had an allergic reaction to shrimp, and some of the doctors had to open up her airway before she was taken away in an ambulance. Things didn't go well for the other bride, Lila, after her mother collapsed and had to be rushed in for emergency surgery. But even after all these major disasters, Alex and Joe managed to get back on track. Meredith officiated their wedding with pride, and the happy couple finished the day by celebrating their milestone with all their loved ones. On the surface, All of Me seems like any other episode of Grey's Anatomy. The plot focuses on a collection of dramatic obstacles that are later resolved using some sort of complex medical intervention. However, when audiences examine the individual parts of this episode, it's clear to see that it gives a lot of the major characters a happy ending. Aside from the wedding, Meredith and Andrew seem to rekindle their relationship, sealing the deal with a sneaky kiss. Plus, this episode marks the return of some old friends, including Arizona and April. Thus, while it's not the reunion fans were hoping for, it does allow fans to revel in a lot of nostalgia. Overall, this episode is important because it proves that Grey's Anatomy doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. All of the major issues were quickly resolved so that Alex and Joe could enjoy their big day without any long-lasting mental scars. Plus, this episode doesn't focus entirely on Meredith. A lot of fans will agree that if there's a major disaster, Meredith is the first in line to jump into action, but All of Me allows her to finally take a back seat and watch her two dearest friends confirm their love in a beautiful ceremony. The episode packs in some much-needed humor for better or for worse. Grey's Anatomy is known for being a bit depressing at times. Whether it's Derek's shocking death or the infamous shooting episode back in season 2, certain episodes make Grey Sloan seem like the worst place to work. However, every so often, the show will whip out a few jokes, all of which work to make the show seem more inviting and jovial. In some ways, All of Me shows off Grey's Anatomy's biggest strength, being able to blend tragedy and comedy at the right times. The opening scene, where the wedding planner has an allergic reaction, is tense but also jam-packed with laughter. Fans are forced to watch the doctors scramble for some sort of antihistamine before watching Levi faint at the sight of blood. This is such an obscure chain of events, but it showcases Grey's Anatomy's ironic sense of humor. Not only is everything going wrong at once, but seeing a surgeon faint at the presence of blood and inadvertently ruining the wedding cake is a great way of keeping the audience engaged. If this episode had focused solely on Kristen's allergic reaction, it might not have been as engaging, as fans have seen this type of disaster before. Yet, the added gags make the entire plot seem so much more refreshing, which a lengthy drama like Grey's Anatomy needs every once in a while. Trapping Alex and Joe in a barn is also an excellent technique because it allows other characters to take the spotlight without distracting the audience from the main plot. While the couple is screaming for help, April tells Richard that she still has feelings for Callie, giving fans the impression that their favorite couple could get back together soon. Again, this is such a great use of pacing because, by removing the core focus on the episode for just a few moments, audiences can reconnect with some of their most beloved secondary characters. Admittedly, this might not sound like much, but for a show with multiple character dynamics and arcs, All of Me gives each person their own space to grow, even under unusual circumstances. Grey's Anatomy needs to change tactics if it wants to end on a high note. While it's fun to imagine how Grey's Anatomy will end, the reality is that it's still going. Not only is it still a hit on primetime TV, but it has also dominated the streaming charts for years. However, unless the show shakes things up, audiences are unlikely to get the ending they were hoping for. Take, for example, the most recent finale, How Do I Live? This episode was packed full of nail-biting tension, and audiences left the season not knowing if their favorite doctor would survive the blast. This episode also focuses on the budding group of newbies, who are excited to begin the next stage of their residency, but are unsure if the hospital will actually survive. As a whole, How Do I Live was one of the best episodes in years and actually captivated audiences with its heightened, but still realistic plot. But the problem is that audiences have seen it all before. Gray Sloane burst into flames back in Season 13, Episode 24, Ring of Fire, after Stephanie Edwards set the building alight to protect herself and her child. Long-term fans will remember that this arc took place over the course of about 3 episodes, but even after this major event, the show swept it under the rug eventually. In fairness, How Do I Live takes a slightly different approach, but both episodes focus on an explosion and the survival of the staff. Thus, even if Season 22 kicks off with an amazing start, a lot of audiences will still feel as if the show is just going through the motions. However, All of Me offered audiences something completely different, which is why it would have been the show's perfect conclusion. Instead of leaving the audience on a cliffhanger, this episode forces the audience to make up their own endings for the characters. If the show stopped at this point, a lot of fans would have assumed that Alex and Joe would go on to lead happy lives while Callie and Arizona give things another shot. Plus, this episode would have given Teddy Altman a decent ending, especially surrounding her shock pregnancy. Yet, the show decided to push forward and ultimately undid all the progress that this episode offered. Alex decided to flee Gray Sloane one afternoon and admitted that he had started a secret relationship with his ex-lover, Izzy. In addition, Meredith and Andrew's relationship eventually fizzled out, and the latter ended up being stabbed to death. Thus, even though Grey's Anatomy could continue for another 20 years, fans just hope that the show can learn from one of its best episodes when it comes to crafting the perfect conclusion. New Grey's Anatomy Season 22 images reveal the aftermath of that shocking Season 21 finale. As Grey's Anatomy prepares for Season 22, viewers have no idea which one of their favorite characters will survive the explosion that rocked Gray Sloane. As a matter of fact, not even the writers knew who would make it out alive. I knew what I thought initially, but I wanted to wait until my writers were back, so that people could also fight and argue with me. And so some things changed, some didn't. But I want to give everyone a chance to fight for what happens to specific characters, showrunner Meg Marinas said in a recent interview while previewing the upcoming season. The explosion occurred in the middle of the day, when everyone was preoccupied with various tasks. Many characters were caught up in the middle of it. The question now becomes, who survives? New images from the season premiere hint at a casualty, and it's someone who has their whole life ahead of them after recently getting married and expecting twins. Link, Chris Carmack, is nowhere to be seen in these images, hinting at a possible death. And this being Grey's Anatomy, anyone can die. We clearly saw Link in immediate danger. We'll just have to see whether Link makes it through this explosion. Marinas teased. In fact, one of the images that shows Winston Anthony Hill holding back Amelia, Katerina Scorsone, hints that something bad might have happened to Link, who shares a child with Amelia. Meredith will be a part of Grey's Anatomy Season 23. Even as new people come and leave the hospital, Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, remains a considerable part of the show, and not just because she narrates it. The character drops by occasionally, and in Season 22, Marinas promised that viewers would see her in several episodes. We always communicate with Ellen and her team and work around her schedule, but she feels the show is very important to her. I just emailed with her this morning, and we'll see her on set the end of this week. We're just excited to have her back, the showrunner said. As for Meredith's place in the show, Marinas said, I think the way that we did it in this season finale is a great way to do it. It allows us to see the character in Seattle just as much as we see her in Boston, and we'll be able to see her maybe interact with our residents a little bit more, which is fun because Meredith is such an amazing teacher, and this kind of rebellious surgeon that I think we've all come to love. Obviously, she's going to be Meredith, and we will probably see some rule-breaking at one point. I'm just lucky to have Ellen still as involved with the show as she is. When is Grey's Anatomy Season 22 coming out? What to know about the new release date? Grey's Anatomy isn't going anywhere. The long-running ABC medical drama was renewed for its 22nd season in April 2025, ahead of the finale of Season 21. As the drama heads into the latest installment, the producers say its longevity comes down to more than just fan loyalty. I still think it's a really fun show to watch, executive producer Betsy Beers told Collider in February 2025. The great thing is, it's a situation where you can bring people in and people leave, and people come back and new people come in, and there's always an engine for new personalities, new conflicts. She continued, The great thing and the sad thing about medicine is it's always changing, and there are always new cases. So what can fans expect when Gray Sloan Memorial opens its doors again? Here's everything to know about Season 22 of the long-running drama. Will there be a Grey's Anatomy Season 22? Yes, Grey's Anatomy has been renewed for a 22nd season. The next installment was confirmed in April 2025 by Deadline. The series holds the record for the longest-running primetime medical drama and the longest-running primetime scripted series on ABC. The following month, the show's Instagram account celebrated the latest finale and mentioned the new episodes on Instagram. That's a wrap on Season 21. We will see you Thursdays this fall for Season 22. Read the post's caption. How did Grey's Anatomy Season 21 end? The final episode of Grey's Anatomy's 21st season was explosive in more ways than one. Dr. Amelia Shepard, Katarina Scorsone, faced a harrowing case involving a 9-year-old girl named Dylan Gatlin with locked-in syndrome, whose surgery had to be delayed until her brain bleed stabilized. Desperate to save her daughter, Jenna Gatlin, Piper Perabo, threatened to blow up the hospital unless Amelia intervened. The team managed to save Dylan before Jenna could act, though a forgotten valve left the building vulnerable. In the final moments, an explosion tore through the surgical floor, a chilling parallel to Season 13, when Meredith Grey watched the hospital burn from the parking lot. Executive producer and showrunner Meg Marinis told Variety in May 2025 that the callback was no accident. In the past, we've had people threaten the hospital. We've seen Gary Clark in the Shooter episode at the end of Season 6, she said. But we were like, what does it look like when a destroyed mom does it? So we did a twist on the story and wanted to do a nostalgic Grey's finale where you don't know who lives and who dies. Who is in the Grey's Anatomy Season 22 cast? Deadline reported that most of the main cast is set to return for the upcoming season, including Scorsone Chandra Wilson, who plays Dr. Miranda Bailey, James Pickens Jr., Dr. Richard Weber, Kevin McKidd, Dr. Owen Hunt, Kim Raver, Dr. Teddy Altman, and Camilla Luddington, Dr. Joe Wilson. Only 2 series departures have been confirmed for Season 22. Jake Borelli, who has played Dr. Levi Schmidt since 2017, and Midori Francis, who played surgical intern Mika Yasuda since 2022. Is Grey's Anatomy Season 22 going to be the final season? Even after being on air for more than 20 years, Grey's Anatomy still remains one of the nation's longest-running TV dramas. Season 22 of the show has been confirmed, and it will premiere on October 16, 2025. With Ellen Pompeo's expected to return for 7 episodes, there's speculation that this might be the final season of the show. After all, Season 23 hasn't been confirmed at the time of writing. Grey's Anatomy's Season 22 will have 18 episodes and will continue from where Season 21 ended. The finale saw Dr. Link and others be involved in an explosion that made fans speculate who would survive and how. Generally, the show has enjoyed consistently good ratings, and as such, there's a high chance that Grey's Anatomy will return for Season 23 as well, unless something drastic happens. Over the years, the medical drama has said goodbye to many of the original characters and introduced multiple legacy ones. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 photos reveal explosion aftermath after the shocking explosion at the end of the Grey's Anatomy Season 21 finale. Brand new photos give some insight into who did and didn't survive the horrifying ordeal. Grey's Anatomy is known for shocking storylines that put its characters at risk of dying, like Derek Shepherd, George O'Malley, Lexi Gray, and Mark Sloan. After some of the characters were held hostage, Grey's Anatomy Season 21 ended with an explosion at the hospital when a patient's family member caused a gas tank to blow up. Fans have had to wait several months for an answer over who lived and who might have died. EW shared brand new photos from Grey's Anatomy Season 22 that shed light on the traumatic situation. In one image, Meredith Grey looks concerned while sitting on the edge of a hospital bed occupied by Dr. Leah Westbrook. The second photo shows a distraught Amelia Shepard in a hospital room while Winston Dugu tries to keep her in place. Another photo reveals Trevor Jackson returning as an intern as he stares at Simone Griffith in an elevator. Alongside the release of these 3 photos, Grey's Anatomy showrunner Meg Marinis told EW what fans can expect when the medical drama returns on October 9th. She acknowledged that Link is in immediate danger since he was in the operating room when the explosion occurred. We clearly saw Link in immediate danger. We'll just have to see whether Link makes it through this explosion. I wanted to return right to the chaos. There's obviously going to be some hospital rebuilding that needs to happen. And so we're going to play the aftermath for more than just the first episode. Absolutely. The emotional trauma as well as the hospital needing to be put back together. What Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiere photos mean. After big events unfold, sometimes a TV show might jump forward in time. However, the Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiere will continue the storyline right from when the finale ended, so there will be a lot of chaos at Grey Sloan Memorial. As a result of the explosion, the hospital will have to undergo some construction. All the aftermath, from any characters that might die to the physical state of the building, will continue well after the premiere. Link isn't the only person at Grey Sloan who's in danger. Monica Beltran, Jules Millen, Miranda Bailey, Teddy Altman, Lucas Adams, and Richard Webber were all inside the hospital at the time of the explosion, with Beltran and Millen on the exact same floor. Ben Warren may have been outside amid the explosion, but he rushed back inside right afterward. The photo of a distraught Amelia appears to be the biggest indicator that Link might have died. However, this could just be Grey's Anatomy's way of throwing fans off the scent and directing attention at Link when it may end up being another character who didn't survive. Our take on the explosion aftermath on Grey's Anatomy. Since there won't be any time jumps when Grey's Anatomy returns, fans will get to find out everyone's fates at the same time as the characters. The premiere will be very chaotic, as Marinus teased, which will make for a very captivating premiere. The writers and producers of Grey's Anatomy are not afraid to kill off major and long-running characters, so there are several whom fans should be worried about, including Link. With 6 weeks left until the premiere, the anticipation is building, and fans are in for a wild ride when Grey's Anatomy returns on October 9th at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on ABC. I have a wild theory about who dies in the Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premiere, but another Shonda Rhimes show may have already proved me wrong. We've still got a month to go before Grey's Anatomy returns to the 2025 TV schedule and throws us into the chaotic aftermath of the explosion at Grey Sloan Memorial, and I've already spent a lot of time thinking about what's to come. Who will die? Will it be multiple doctors? Who do we know is safe? I'm working on a new theory, but it's admittedly a pretty wild one, especially because it may have already been disproven on a different Shonda Rhimes series. To backtrack a little bit here, in the Grey's Anatomy Season 21 finale, available to stream on Hulu or with a Netflix subscription, a canister of gas that was thought to be empty after Piper Perebo's hostage situation ignited, blowing out a portion of the building and operating floor. Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, and Ben Warren, Jason George, were outside of the hospital when the blast occurred, so I've been assuming they are safe. But what if that's just what they want us to think? Hear me out. I think Grey's Anatomy might kill off Ben Warren. We do know that Ben doesn't die in the explosion, but what about in the aftermath? He is clearly seen sprinting back into the hospital immediately after, with those firefighter instincts kicking in, and his wife Miranda Bailey, Chandra Wilson, last seen on the operating floor. Ben has proven to be impulsive to a fault time and time again. It's gotten him in trouble. It's gotten him hurt. Do any of us think he wouldn't risk life and limb to save his wife, or any of his other colleagues or patients? We know he would. He even says as much in his final conversation with Miranda just minutes before the blast. I stand by my choices to save lives. Every time. And why exactly is Ben having to stand by his choices in How Do I Live? Oh yes, because as of the Season 21 finale, he is no longer employed by Grey Sloan Memorial. That means Jason George's role on the show was already in question. Is Grey's Anatomy showrunner Meg Marinus going to send him to another hospital to continue his training after bringing him on board from Station 19? Or will he give it all up and be a stay-at-home dad to his adopted daughter Prue? Personally, I think it makes more sense that this rule-breaking maverick would go out like a hero trying to save his wife. Will he, though? Now look, I've predicted Ben Warren's death before, and I definitely don't want to be right, but his character never really got fully reintegrated at the hospital following Station 19's series finale. Fittingly enough, it's that very finale that throws the biggest wrench in my theory, because Station 19's finale seemed to show Ben in the future, alive. Station 19 was cancelled after 7 seasons, and its series finale one last time, streaming with a Hulu subscription, gave us a glimpse into each firefighter's future. For Ben Warren, that included seeing his and Miranda's 3 children all graduate. The proud mom and dad flash across the screen in the audience of 3 different commencement ceremonies, which seemingly proves that Ben, and Miranda for that matter, survives at least another decade. Is Grey's Anatomy beholden to that ending? Does it mean that Meg Marinis and the rest of the writers can never mess with Jason George or Chunder Wilson's characters? Or was that Station 19 ending never intended to be taken literally in the first place? Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Derek Shepherd dying in Season 11 forever changed Grey's Anatomy, but the medical drama has seemingly picked out his replacement 10 years later. A key Grey's Anatomy character because of his relationship with Meredith, Derek brought his fair share of chaos to Seattle Grace due to his conflicted marriage to Addison, his lofty professional ambitions, and his messy personal life. Derek and Meredith's romance of epic proportions made Derek the son for half of Grey's Anatomy, with the story inevitably revolving around him. This made Derek's death in Grey's Anatomy Season 11 forcefully shift the medical drama's focus. His absence for 10 years nevertheless made enough time pass that it can now justify Grey's Anatomy bringing forth a Derek replacement. Grey's Anatomy sets up Lucas to be Derek Shepherd's true replacement. Amelia's arrival in Grey's Anatomy Season 10 ensured the Shepherds wouldn't be too far from the action, even with Derek dying in Season 11. Despite sharing their specialty and a traumatic past, Amelia and Derek were always very different characters, making her arrival not feel like Amelia replaced Derek, as their headspace when getting to Grey Sloan was strikingly dissimilar. While the same could be said about Lucas, as he joined Grey Sloan as an intern instead of a renowned neurosurgeon, the hospital worked as a fresh start for Lucas like it did for Derek. Indeed, while Derek chose Seattle to move on from his complicated personal life, getting to Grey Sloan was Lucas's last-minute chance to become a resident. Grey's Anatomy Season 22 premieres on ABC at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, October 9, 2025. Lucas and Simone's relationship mirroring Meredith's instability of the earlier Grey's Anatomy seasons made the comparison of Lucas with Derek more evident, especially as he was a Shepherd from his mother's side. However, no Grey's Anatomy season included a moment of truth equating Lucas as Derek's replacement as Season 21 did. The details about Lucas's personal life, like his being good at golf or having 4 sisters like Derek, that Grey's Anatomy Season 21 scattered already made the similarities undeniable. However, Lucas's stubbornness to advocate for his patients made him the most similar to Derek, as it pushed him to look for impossible saves for them despite being only an intern. Why it's poetic justice for Lucas to fill the void that Derek left in Grey's Anatomy.